Good morning, star seeds and light beings. My name is Carly, and I'm here to talk to you today about guides. Not only about guides, but how to communicate with them if you don't already know how. So, because we all are individuals, we all have an individual perspective on how to do something or what resonates with us. It's all different. So what I am going to do is just tell you my stories on how I have learned to communicate more with my guides. Actually, what happened is last night I was sitting on the couch and I asked my guides, what topic should I hit on tomorrow? And it was like, download, hit me. Guides. Talk about guides. Talk about how to communicate with guides. And I am not kidding you. My heart, like, for me, when I get a download, my whole body, depending on how deeply I'm resonating with it, is reacting. So my heart is pounding. I'm like out of breath, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I gotta write this down. So I got up off the couch and I ran into the room, grabbed this, and started writing down, and it was coming out faster than I could even write it down. The stuff that I needed to talk about. And for me, I know who was helping me with this on my guide team. I have different experiences with people that I've reincarnated with in this life that have passed on that are my guides. I also have guides that have reincarnated in this life before me that are my ancestors that are my guides. And then I have my guides as well that are your higher self and just higher dimensional beings. And also I can even call in on, I will call in on certain guides that reincarnated in this life with me that passed away, but I don't necessarily feel all the time with me. Like, their job isn't to help me all the time. Like, they're busy doing another thing. So if I'm looking for their perspective, I'll call on them as well. One thing about your guides to remember, if you don't already know this, is that they are always all around you. They're everywhere. And all you have to do is have intent. All you have to do is ask. If you are wanting to reach out, ask, and then silence the mind and receive. Okay? So here's a couple examples of when my guides communicated with me. I'll just give you two examples. I do this a lot with them, but two examples that I was told last night that I wrote down. I was guided to tell you these two examples. The one example, I was in Kanab, Utah, doing a Mountain Man Rendezvous retreat that I've been doing since I was a kid, and I was sleeping in a teepee by myself. I wasn't sleeping yet, but I was just hanging out there. I had my crystals all laid out. I had candles lit. I was silencing the mind, doing meditation, tapping into things. And there's one question that I always had, and I just couldn't figure it out for the longest time. And I'm like, what does 1111 mean to me, right? I see it all the time. Everybody's like, oh yeah, it's angelic this, it's, it means that someone's communicating with you. It means all these things. Okay, great. I'm sure it means all those things, but I was looking for something else, right? About this 1111, and every time I see it, like, I want a message from it, I want to resonate with this 1111. And I was sitting there and I got quiet, and I heard in my mind, Carly, everything is one. And I kid you not, it resonated with me so hard. I just dropped everything. I had tears of joy, like bawling, and I was laughing, and I had this huge smile on my face, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are good. Referring to my guides, because they had just helped me receive a message in such a beautiful, magical way. Like no other way could have been any better than that. Just sitting there in this old teepee, you know, by myself with my crystals on this wooden table, and just silencing the mind, and then just hearing this perfect Carly, everything is one, and it just resonated with me so hard. So now every time I see 1111, for me and on my perspective, it reminds me to take a step back and remember we are all one thing. That is all that matters. If I can remember that and treat everything and everybody as such, I will have joy in my life. Okay? So that's one example. Another example of communicating with guides. It can be frustrating if you're like, how do I communicate, right? There's people that don't understand how to communicate yet. Okay, well, right now we're going into a time where we are tapping into our abilities. We're moving into our new abilities. So if it's not something that you've been able to do before, it may be something that comes online with you now. Okay, now that your DNA is being activated, you're just going to start being able to do things, and you'll be like, wow, that was magical. How did that happen? Okay, it's going to be your aha moments, and they're going to start coming online if you don't already have those. I'm sure a lot of you do. If you don't, they will come. They will come. Just be open to receive them, okay? Another example with guides and being able to communicate with them. My dad passed away, probably like 5 years at this point, and he's been there more for me now than he ever was when he was reincarnated. Okay, when he was incarnate in this life with me, he has been there more for me in the last 5 years than in my entire life. Okay, and I've had really strong conversations with him, and one that really hit me on how to communicate one time, this was years ago. I was in Walmart, and I was walking down the aisle with my sister this way, and I asked, Dad, are you here with me? And I turned right down this aisle, and every single plate, cup, spoon, fork, it was a plastic aisle, right? Every label on that aisle was named every day. So I asked, are you here with me right now? I turned, and literally it was like every day, 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 every day. And it was so expansive that when I saw it, I literally lost my breath. It was like, and I was like in shock because it had hit me so hard. And I looked at my sister and I was like, Cassie. She looks at me, I'm like, you won't believe what just happened to me. And from then on, I had realized that you are communicating constantly. Just open your eye, and just observe, look around. And you don't even have to be searching, right? Just being. Just look around and you will see messages all the time, all the time. And that one was huge, to be able to turn, and it will resonate. You'll feel it in your soul. Your whole body might vibrate like, oh my God, like, wow, magical, because you're remembering and you're communicating, and it just feels so good that even tears can just stream down your face because it feels so good. Another way that you are communicating with your guides, you guys, you need to pay attention to your dreams. Really pay attention to your dreams. For example, for me, I had a dream. I've had many communications through dreams, but one of them really stuck out to me that said, this is a guide, right? And it's not always going to be like that. You'll have dreams where you wake up and you're like, oh, that was interesting. And as you think about it or ponder it, you start to really feel like that was my higher self, or that was, you know, my higher self, my guide, whatever it was, really trying to get a message across. For example, one night I had a dream that I walked out into my garage, and it was nighttime and my garage door was open, and this huge, beautiful moth flew down. I mean, it was huge, and it just like went right in front of me. And behind this moth was this light being, and it was literally just a being made of light. And the light being was the moth's protector. And I had asked a couple questions during this time. I actually should have grabbed my journal. I woke up and drew a picture of this moth so I didn't forget. And he or she, I'm not really totally sure, but it had these huge eyes. And I asked, how long did it take for you to get here? And it said 24 hours. And that the light being with it was its protector and partner. And its main message for me was, the only thing it said was, it's all universal love. And that was my dream. And then I woke up and I pondered on that. I mean, I woke up and I booked it and found my journal and wrote some stuff down and drew a picture because I just didn't want to forget it. And now that I think about it, I never could. Like, it was just so beautiful. And the message in it just saying it's all universal love. And I just think about that all the time because I want to conceptualize that deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and just let it really resonate to where it's a full understanding. So don't disregard dreams. Look at your dreams, look at the things around you, signs that you see, people that come up in synchronicities, things like that. That's all guides, you know, it's all your energetic guides working together to help guide you through this life and to help bring the right circumstances into your life for the better good of your ascension process. So thank you all for listening today. I love you, and have a great rest of your day. Namaste.